All right, guys, welcome back to the Everything College Football Podcast. Spring ball has wrapped up throughout college football, and the biggest topic for most teams in FBS is who will emerge as the starting quarterback. The two teams that competed for the national championship retain their starters, but numerous other contenders won't have a proven starter until the fall. Let's take a look at some of these close battles. Kicking things off with North Carolina, the Tar Heels, Jacoby Criswell and Drake May compete to replace Sam Howell. Quite compelling battle as well, I believe, as the brother of the 49ers linebacker Dre Greenlaw and Jacoby Criswell battles with May, the brother of former Star Hooper player Luke. Criswell has an extra year in Phil Longo's system, which gives him a bit of a leg up and possesses an intriguing skill set. The 6-foot, 220-pounder from Arkansas has a near identical stature to that of the departing Hal, and the dual threat qualities, along with a strong arm that allows him to drive the ball downfield, even off his back foot. Criswell showcased nice touch during the spring game, and considering the Tar Heels called plenty of design QB runs last season, he seems to be a better fit for what worked a season ago. But don't count Drake May out one bit. I think a lot of people are considering him the favorite based on the outlets I've looked at, and that might be due to him being a top 10 recruit at the position while being 56 overall, but there's no rush to get him on the field. May is much taller at 6'5", along with a 210-pound frame, and seems to play with more confidence in the pocket than Criswell does, as he is strong, accurate. The arm talent he has allows him to rip it to all three levels of the field. May, though, he has enough mobility to make plays when things break down. I think Criswell has the edge in that category, though. And I think he should be the starter week one. The extra year certainly helps, and his skill set is pretty intriguing. I just overall think it's a better fit compared to what they did a season ago. The Oregon Ducks, Bo Nix and Ty Thompson will compete to replace Anthony Brown. Dan Lanning comes over to Oregon after being the play caller for one of the greatest defenses of all time with Georgia, as they won a national championship just a couple months ago. He brings a familiar foe with him, though, in Bo Nix. Ty Thompson, the 40th ranked recruit in the class of 2021, brought to Eugene by Mario Cristobal, will battle with the former Auburn signal caller. Nix, whose first start came against the Ducks a couple years ago, where he threw a game-winning touchdown in the final seconds, was really the same QB during his tenure in the SEC. Nix has possessed an intriguing ceiling, but was plagued by inconsistent decision-making and accuracy while he was at Auburn. But he does have a really impressive skill set in my eyes, just the consistency is not there. He still has not found that high-end ceiling I just mentioned. Nix only had 3 interceptions, while his 229 yards per game and 7.1 yards per attempt a season ago were career-best marks. And, he made numerous amount of impressive plays with his legs. It was reported that the QB battle last season was incredibly close, but even with the Anthony Brown struggles, Thompson really never saw the field outside of a blowout win versus Stony Brook. Thompson is bigger and stronger this spring, brings top-notch arm strength to the table, and being the second-ranked dual-threat passer in his class means he can win on the ground as well. Considering Nix has a previous rapporteur with OC Kenny Dillingham from 2019, the year the Tigers actually scored its most points per game during Nix's time with Auburn, he should have no issues being the starter, especially when they open the season versus Georgia, a team as he's actually had some ups and downs against in his career. I think Bo Nix will be the week one starter. The Auburn Tigers, Brian Harson has an interesting three-man race that features nothing but transfers. An injury-kept former Texas A&M QB Zach Calzada on the sidelines this spring, which allowed TJ Finley and Robbie Ashford to distance themselves in a quite tight QB battle. Finley led a 99-yard touchdown drive to survive a scare from Georgia State early in the season last year, but wouldn't get back on the field until the final 3 games of the season, where he went 0-3 with losses coming on the road to South Carolina and then 2 close ball games to Alabama and Houston. Finley gutted it out versus Alabama, though he could barely even walk, and the offense did suffer, but his resilience is noted. Finley hasn't exactly been great over the past 2 seasons with Auburn and LSU, but his 6'7", 246-pound frame is unique, and he does a good job of getting it underneath to his playmakers, but doesn't exactly possess any traits that jump off the screen. Oregon transfer Robbie Ashford, one of the more quiet guys in this race, was one of the top bloomers from this spring, and he's an explosive runner that makes quick decisions. I think Ashford's accuracy is quite shaky, but he plays with confidence, and considering how much the Tigers are going to look to ground and pound with a dynamic duo of backs and Tank Bigsby, Jerquez Hunter, while he provides off-play action along with his arm strength, I think gives them the most upside. And, you're probably wondering, where does the aforementioned Zach Calzada factor in this equation? I personally don't think he does. Calzada started 10 games a season ago for the Aggies. The only one he was really impressive in was the oddly enough win over Alabama. That was the only game he really impressed me in. Calzada was a below-average game manager. He garnered plenty of experience, though, this past season, but was too nervous with the ball at times, made interesting decisions, that witnessed him throw an INT in 7 out of 8 games during a midseason stretch. Eric Kaizo shifts over from wide receiver coach to offensive play caller. And this QB battle features 3 guys that all have an equal shot, but no one that makes you feel comfortable heading into the spring. I like the Hoover, Alabama native in Ashford to win the job and kind of shock people as he's kind of came out of nowhere here. But I think that's the highest upside pick here is the Oregon transfer. Texas A&M, they're kind of in a similar boat to that of Auburn. They only have a 3-man race here, but it's less stressful, I think, for the offensive staff. 5-star Connor Wigman could potentially throw his hat into the ring, but this is unquestionably between LSU transfer Max Johnson and Haynes King. King, of course, is expected to be a big-time breakout performer this past season, but instead got hurt in week 2. That was all she wrote for his debut season. King wasn't exactly impressive in his own start either. Threw 3 picks against Kent State in the opener. He also made some great plays with his legs, and that's one of the area of his game that has an edge over Johnson by far. Johnson threw for 2,800 yards, 27 touchdowns for what was a pretty one-dimensional Tiger offense this past season. He's progressed considerably. Johnson's very decisive with his reads, has a nice deep ball in his arsenal, and has some pretty good accuracy. It's still evident even with pressure in his face. Johnson tends to hold on to the ball a little bit too much, can make a poor decision from time to time, but Jimbo Fisher should be able to work the kinks out of his game, and the Aggies will have a very quality starter at the helm this fall, and Max Johnson. Speaking of Johnson's former team, the LSU Tigers, these guys probably have the most crowded QB room in all of America. Incoming 5-star Walker Howard's also going for that top spot, but this is really going to come down to 2, maybe 3 guys. Jaden Daniels comes over from Arizona State after really failing to develop as expected as they're at ASU. Well, Miles Brennan is fully healthy again. He didn't play last year one bit due to a string of injuries. Daniels is an impressive dual-threat talent. His athletic abilities will make it tough to keep him on the sidelines, but Brennan, before suffering that abdominal injury in 2020, was lighting it up. He had 1,100-plus yards and 11 touchdowns in 3 games. Hasn't played since. He also broke his arm before the 2021 season, so a string of bad luck here for Miles Brennan has kept him on the sideline. Garrett Nussmeier, I think he'll be competing for this job as well. He made some sporadic appearances last season, played a bulk of the Arkansas game, but him and Howard shouldn't really factor into the battle much this season. It'll be interesting to see who the Tigers are well with, as Mike Denbrock just did wonders with Desmond Ridder. Daniels is similar in more ways than one, while Brennan was slicing up opponents as Joe Burrow's successor. I'm really kind of torn on this. I think eventually Miles Brennan will get the early season start, and then I think they might work their way to Daniels. But this one's still really up in the air, and I wouldn't take much on my prediction. Everyone knows it's going to be between Brennan and Daniels. Who will be the winner? It remains to be seen. The Tigers Brian Kelly probably doesn't even know until week 1. It's really a toss-up there in Baton Rouge. We got the final one here at the Clemson Tigers. This isn't so much of a battle, but it's something to keep your eye on. DJ Uiagalelei will begin the season as a starter, no doubt. But for how long is the real question, as the top-ranked QB prospect and Cade Klubnik is breathing down his neck. Dabo Swinney has shown before he's not afraid to give his young prodigy the keys to the offense, as Trevor Lawrence was inserted into the lineup quite early in his career, despite Kelly Bryant being a winner. Uiagalelei is a former top-ranked QB coming out of high school himself and shining his 2 starts in 2020. But that was not the case one bit, as accuracy was brutal, chemistry was missing all over, and, command, it was just overall not there, along with leadership. It just didn't evolve like we anticipated it would. Klubnik might just be the answer for those struggles as they continue on into 2022, as he is a polished pocket passer who plays with swagger, utilizes every ounce of that NFL-like arm. Klubnik can stand in the pocket and deliver with great touch and accuracy, making every throw on the plane is no issue for him. And again, if the Tigers offense can't find a rhythm in September, best believe you will see number 2 under center. Uiagalelei, though, will begin the season as the starter, but for how long? That's going to wrap everything up for today's episode, guys. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. See you next time.